Welcome to Tracing Your Family Roots. My name is Arlene Sachs, and today we're welcoming Daniel Horowitz. He's a genealogy expert for myHeritage, and Jim Bartlett, expert on genetic genealogy, specifically DNA segments. And today, right now, for this show, we want to talk about the myHeritage website. And you had something wonderful to say about it. myHeritage is newer than some of the other companies, and you had some very good experience with that.
Well, I've been a genealogist for over 40 years. 1974, I started with genealogy. And over the years have developed a pretty good family tree. And when I started in with autosomal DNA, I knew I needed to expand that tree as much as I could, and I did that. And in one of your competitors, Ancestry, I developed a tree on there and developed quite a robust tree. So recently, I've been wanting to do this for a while, but recently I uploaded that, made a GEDCOM out of that tree that I had, and uploaded it to myHeritage. And at first I was very surprised to find out how many people I had in the tree and how broad it was and what was in it. And the next morning when I got up, I had messages from myHeritage. We have found additional information, which I was very excited about, because I had pushed the limits that I could find using other sources on my tree. That's how you do it with DNA. You got to push it out as far as you can. So I logged on to myHeritage, and the first thing I noticed was when I clicked on myHeritage, it didn't ask me for my name and my password. It had remembered that in a cookie.
Yes.
And I thank you very much for that, because I'm always forgetting what my password, my login information is. And it did that automatically. It popped right up and said, "Hi, Jim, we're ready for you." So then it had new discoveries in there, and I went in and looked at these discoveries, and they were people that extended my tree both horizontally and vertically. I had new ancestors in there that I had not known about. Being that my ancestry is largely colonial Virginia, colonial America, I had pushed it pretty much to the limits of America way back before the Revolutionary War, but I found new ancestors that I could link to my tree, and it is a very easy click, and you can click and say, yeah, that's the same ancestor, and they let me then go in and pick each individual thing in there, each element, a date, a place, a factoid that was in there. Did I want that one or not? And in some places, I thought my information was better than what was presented.
Yeah.
In many cases, it was new information and better information. I had a year, they had a date and a month, and I just clicked right through those. So it went very, very quickly, and I was very, very happy with the results. I am. As I clicked through several of these, the list got longer and longer and longer, and it is now almost overwhelming. And I've been going through it now and picking and choosing which ancestors I wanted to extend. So
definitely,
I'm tickled.
That it can be overwhelming, but I'm very happy to hear a success story. And this is just one of many that we have at myHeritage. And we are a relatively new company since 2005. We have a little bit more than 13 years. And the idea of myHeritage was always to make genealogy easy for people, not necessarily the hardcore genealogists like you and me, but the people out there starting this journey into their ancestors. And we recently had the DNA also included on our system. But what you experience is what we call the instant discoveries. And this is what everybody who either uploads a GEDCOM or starting their family tree from scratch is going to get on myHeritage. Now, Arlene, you had a question, and I just want to address that for a minute regarding the GEDCOM. Because yes, the GEDCOM normally is only the text information, the facts, the names, dates, and places. But as more web companies are going into genealogy and people are putting more their family trees in the cloud and having available on their mobile devices and then tablets and things like myHeritage does, what happened is that all the images, both personal photos that you may have or the records that you have digitized, have a URL, an address on the cloud. So if the company where you are building your family tree change or accommodate that URL inside the text of the JETCOM, myHeritage will know how to read that and will retrieve that image and will actually reproduce exactly that family tree that you have in this other vendor. Now, the instant discoveries is something that we already had for a good couple of years, and those can be both with family trees or with records. And the new thing that myHeritage just added is the instant discoveries for pictures. And we can see that in the next slide, where people get a list of different individuals that you match. And as you said, you can get, you can get more information about that individual, and you can add even branches, whole branches over there. But in the next one, you will see that we also are able now to add pictures. Because again, yes, your JETCOM may come without images, and or you simply don't have the images from that part of the family. So myHeritage detected that you don't have those pictures that other people does. And what we do is we collect up to 10 images coming from even different sources, like we see on the next list. And you can contact those individuals, those admins that have those images, and you can ask them, like, how and why do you have the picture of my great-grandmother? And then you can pick and choose which images goes into your research. So it's not only the facts, it's not only the data from other family trees and records, but also trying to put a little bit of faces into that family tree.
And if you find an error, you can write to them and tell them they've got the error, or they'll tell you you're wrong.
Definitely communication is very important for myHeritage and for genealogy. No one can say that they hold the whole truth in their hands. So you need to communicate, you need to ask the person, and you need to explain, like, why do you think it is a mistake? Or, you know what, even thanking the person for sharing the image of your great-grandfather, of this cousin that you have never saw. That is also very important in genealogy. And this is one of the three main features that we have recently released to make, again, easier the way. Now, the other feature that I would like to mention, and it's especially useful probably for hardcore genealogists like you, that you have a lot of years dedicated to this, is the Search Connect. Meaning that if somebody does a search on myHeritage, and we do have a search engine as well, where you can type the names and you can try to find your family if the matches didn't do that alone, we will bring you the results based on other people matches. So imagine that you did a search and nothing came up. This last name that you're researching has no records, has no trees. The second person that will come and will search for the same last name, and this is very useful for rare names, will see the same no results for records or trees, but it's going to find you, Jim, that you were looking for the same name. And if two people were looking for the same very rare name, probably there is a match over there. Now, the third feature that I would like to bring today to the table is a pedigree map that myHeritage have created. And this is also very useful to pinpoint events on a world map. So you can actually see where your relatives are coming. And as you said, you have your DNA test, and you may have an ethnicity report that tells you that you are from a certain area on the globe. And this map will be able to show you the different events on your family tree. And actually, if...
Now, what does that show? That shows
this
all the
is showing
people
This
that
is
are from
showing
that
the
area?
events on a specific country, in this case Poland,
Yeah.
and it's pinpointing the exact locations, the towns in Poland where all these events happen. So you can select a particular town and you can see birth, marriage, death, or other events
Now,
that happen.
are these
in
people
this.
supposed to be related to each other in this
Those
particular?
people are coming from my family tree.
Okay, so they are all on the
They are on the
the
family tree. We analyze the family tree, the different locations that you have in your family tree, and we show it to you. And this is very useful to understand because it may be very clear if you go through your grandfather line that all the family members came from one area, but certainly you will discover that from your mother's side or from the other side of the family, you have some events. And this is what's going to explain the ethnicity report on the DNA, where we tell you that according to your DNA, you are from a specific area. That ethnicity report will also overlap with this pedigree map. So whenever we tell you that your DNA is from a certain area, you will see the different events happening on this area.
Is your DNA ethnicity more refined than, say, Poland? Is it down to specific areas inside Poland?
Right now we are in beta mode and it's very generic, but yes, the goal is very soon under a Founders Population project that we are managing with our own users. The idea is to tell you not only probably Poland, but if it's northern Poland, southern Poland, a specific region in Italy, for example, Sardinia or Rome, or different areas.
But didn't the Jews move around so much that
Yes, they moved around, but you know what? In Jewish genealogy, you have the endogamy because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
religion part. So people stayed within the same group of people. They didn't
Well,
trust
it was all Jew-
others.
yeah, but-
So the Ashkenazis will pretty much, if you go back 5, 6 generations, they were from the same area, and they move from town to town, but
Yeah.
from generation to generation, they were kept in
within a couple of
closer
100
areas.
miles, you
Exactly.
mean? Okay, it wouldn't be just one town. It would be a couple of 100 miles.
Yeah.
Because I know they, there's weddings and they came from other towns and stuff like that. That's why couldn't get my mind around one
that's
town.
what makes us crazy. And actually, that is also what makes us do mistakes. And you were telling us about this missing relative that you don't know, or somebody was not sure about the birth date and the death date. And myHeritage also have a tool for that. And we have tested this with big trees and many-year genealogists. And we so far have surprised almost every genealogy that we tested with this tool. It's the tree consistency checker. And only really one person have not found any errors or any possible mistakes, because we normally tend to get the records and to take everything as a fact, and we just run and put it into our family tree, and we don't realize, for example, that we have a birth occurred after the mother died, or a marriage when the kid was 5 years old. And
Well, I think that's possible because depending on how you count the marriages, the Jews sometimes didn't bother with the civil marriages.
Yes.
And then when they had to, it looked like they had a bunch of kids already.
And definitely it could be possible. And that is why myHeritage is just suggesting you that this may be a mistake. But in my own family, I have a guy marrying at 97 years old, and it's a fact. And we know that this was truth. But myHeritage is saying, this
That's
person may be a little bit too
Be careful.
old.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this may be a little bit too old. So
His mother
you
remarried
can
at
either
85.
correct the mistakes. Some of the possible mistakes you can correct it right from this report by marking the person as death or changing the age, or you can simply go one step forward and you can customize the list. Right now it's also about 36 different facts that myHeritage checks for you. And if you decide that your family have a long thread of life, and most of the people lived over 100 years, so you can just move and customize that and say, okay, don't bother me with people living more than 100 years, because yes, I have 10 people that happen. So you can customize that report for you, or you can simply ignore and say, you know what, I'm sure, I know that this is the fact, but it's definitely a good tool, a good help for genealogists, at least to revise your research again and make sure that you have.
Now, another question. If somebody didn't use the cloud, could they send you a memory stick or something? Or how do you get that other stuff to you if you don't know how to use the cloud?
I should say, unfortunately, in order to have this, you will have to have your tree on the cloud. And there are different ways. You can either start from scratch, and I'm pretty sure if you have 1,000 people, you're not going to start for sure. But you can upload a JEDCOM, just as Jim said. And today the JEDCOM is very easy to export and import.
I know how to work the JEDCOM.
Now, myHeritage also has a software. It's called Family Tree Builder. It's a free software. You can move also trees from one software to the other. You can still manage your tree on your computer and on this software. And from there, you can decide to put it on the cloud or not. The tree consistency checker, it is on the cloud, but it's also on the software. So this is a tool that it was actually on the software, and we move it to the cloud. But some of the
So I would download.
My recommendation, Arlene, is that you make a JEDCOM of wherever you are, make a JEDCOM, and upload it to myHeritage.
Yeah.
And that was my experience. And overnight, I got lots of hints. And there were people that had census pictures, had wills and deaths, and all this sort of stuff was on there. And you have the option of taking those one by one a record, and it just has a little check mark there. You just click on it. So it's a very easy
but how do I get my stuff? I've got well over 1,000 documents that I have put on. I'm trying to get that up there. I'll just have to learn how to use the cloud.
It will depend, first of all, on the platform that you're using now, or the software that you're using now, if he's capable to export the images together in a separate folder, but connected to the JEDCOM. myHeritage has very good experience importing JEDCOM from different vendors and different softwares. Even if you're using our software and you're used to software, the software will be able to scan your computer and tell you, okay, we found different files from all different vendors. Do you want me to import it into the Family Tree Builder? And another reason to use the cloud, and I totally understand, and there is a concern for privacy out there putting things on the cloud. And myHeritage takes privacy very seriously, and the test that I tell people very easy to do, and they should do it also not only with myHeritage, but with probably any other social media or any other website that they have. You can open a browser in what is called incognito mode or private mode. The browser will not remember you, as Jim said, that you go into myHeritage and automatically you are there. So the browser should not know who are you and should ask you for your credentials. So instead of typing your credentials over there, you can copy from the other window the URL, the address of the website, and paste it in this new window. And you will be able to see the website as a visitor or as a person that doesn't have access to you. What myHeritage does for privacy is that every individual marked as living is automatically privatized. You will not be able to see the first name, you will not be able to see the gender or any facts, only the last name. Whoever is marked as deceased, and also this consistency checker, again, will tell you probably that you have people that should be marked as deceased. Those people are going to be public. And I know that there is a little bit of confrontation of privacy issues on deaf people, if they are considered already not private or private, and how many years you should wait. But again, genealogies, we actually want to be found.
Yeah.
And the way of having been found is by these deaf individuals, by our ancestors that have been passed away. And this is the power of the community. And having it on the cloud also allows other people to interact with you. And myHeritage is very proud of this community of more than 82 million users all over the world. And we do have a section actually for the community where if you have a record that it's in a strange language, a foreign language that you don't manage, you can upload it over there and people can read it for you, can transcribe it for you, can give you hints on where to research and how to research. And this is basically what genealogy is, try to connect with other people and try to share and benefit from everybody.
What's the language that's most common? English or Hebrew? Or?
Well, definitely English it is, or Latin characters, I should say, is the most common language. If you go to Europe, of course, South America, it's all Spanish and English. It's more or less the same dictionary of characters. But if you go to Europe and you start going into the east part of Europe, you will see letters that start to change. So you're going to have accents, you have to small changes on the German dictionary, you have the umlauts, and you have the Polish also. But when you move further into the east, you're going to hit totally different languages. You're going to hit Cyrillic for Russian and Ukrainian, and you're going to hit Greek, you're going to hit Hebrew, you're going to hit Arabic. And myHeritage has users from all over the world, so that is already an advantage. But also, when you do your research on myHeritage, myHeritage translate those names. So if you have family in Ukraine and myHeritage has a record in Ukrainian, but you have your family tree in English, you may get those discoveries with those records in Ukraine, and we will tell you that your Alex may be matching a Sasha written in Cyrillic. So it's a combination of languages, dictionaries, known typos, and known changes.
And it does that all automatically for you.
Yes, that's the great thing of the technology today.
Can you copy in, once you have your tree, I've uploaded my tree now, can I copy in a record that didn't get translated in there? Can I?
Sure.
I can copy and paste. I can Control-C here, some document I have, and paste it into something.
If it's an image, you don't copy-paste, you drag and drop.
Okay, drag and drop.
Yeah, you open a window, you take your file from one place, you just dump it on the website, and that will be uploaded automatically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. How many, is there a limit to the number of people that you can have in a tree?
Well, myHeritage starts with a basic subscription, which is free, and that probably is the reason that everybody should try it. When you upload a JetCom, let me give you a secret here. It doesn't matter how big your JetCom is, it's going to be up and running for a couple of days, so you get a taste of what it is. And then over 200 people, if you want to communicate with the other individuals, if you want to do certain things, you would hit a paywall, and then you will need a paid subscription that can put your tree up to an unlimited amount of individuals over there.
One subscription gets you an unlimited amount?
One subscription will give you an unlimited
good,
amount.
I have a
yes.
subscription.
Yes, so you're good. You're good. Yeah.
And is that an annual fee then, or once?
Yes, it is an annual fee. Normally, for the first time, we offer discounts. Also, for special occasions like Independence Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, we come up with special discounted prices. So just maybe hold a little bit and wait for the next discount to show up. But yeah, normally we try to encourage as many people to come and make it affordable, which is basically what everybody's trying to do now.
Well, I think at the conference, you need to have a session where somebody can bring their computer in and you'll walk them through it.
Well, we do have that, but also we have a support team that answers your questions by email, probably not as fast as you would love, but also we have certain lines, phone lines, that will answer your call from almost any country in the world in Europe. So you better check on the website, and for sure you should have a local phone number just to pick up the phone. And in a very special cases, you can even have somebody looking at what you're having in your computer and guide you step by step. But yeah, definitely, and come to the conferences. It's very fun, especially to meet people, new users, and hear your success stories. Thank you for sharing it, Jim.
I'll put a plug in for
I'm delighted, yeah.
for IAJGS conference that I'm talking about, the International Jewish Genealogy Conference in Florida.
Definitely
in
see you in
July.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Yes.
At one at the Disney. Put a plug in for them. We've got about a minute left. What else do you want to tell us about your website? Well, we still.
Well, we definitely have a huge amount of technologies already on the website. We're not stopping. Definitely, we're almost improving like in a weekly basis. The old technology, the matches, is getting improved. We're thinking of new ways of helping people, new and old.
Did you have some way of identifying faces and matching faces? You talked about that a few years ago.
We did had some kind of face recognition. Now we apply it a little bit less, but it's part of the photo discoveries that we offer in order to detect that this is the right person.
That's all included in the subscription price?
That's all included in the subscription, yes. Okay. So definitely, I hope to be here very soon with new technologies and show you the new things that myHeritage does.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. We are out of time. Your coughing is coming at the exact right time. Thank you very much, both of you.
Doing genealogy.
And all of you.